Hey and welcome back to Toby's Real Skills with Toby. I'm Toby. Today we want to continue the video for this water tank behind me. Camping, outdoor shower, outdoor cleaning tank. Basically something you can mount on your car. And I want to follow the steps the manufacturer recommends, and at the end hopefully we can mount it to the car and see what it looks like. Let's start with it. Here are some instructions we want to go into. That's what it comes with. A lot of stuff. Read before using. Then we have a page just listed all the supplies and the installation hardware which it comes with. And when we want to open it, we can see here step by step what they recommend to do. Let's start with this one, installation. After adding water and pressurize installation completely after checking if it doesn't leaks water. So we will do this first step what they recommend. So that's what we need to do first. We're not adding water. We will, first of all, use this angle valve and check if there's first off tape here on the lower part, not on the lower, on the threaded part. It looks good. And now we'll check if in here, if there's a rubber seal. For you, sorry, it's hard to see, but yes, there is. I did touch it, I did try it, and it is a rubber seal in here. So that means we can unwrap it and do exactly what they tell us. And here in the first step, we'll do the installation now and tighten the angle valve clockwise with wrench tool if available. We'll double check if we need that. And then we'll add the water and pressurize it and see if it leaks before we do anything else. Here we have the valve. Just some, on the thread there's some sealant. They put a bunch around it, so we'll try it. Just a screw on, see if it even works with that amount. And actually it does work, so we can thread it on. Let's see how far we can get. Look at that. So there are two things you have to consider when doing that. I threaded it on. Now you can see there's almost no gap in between anymore. I could push it more down, but you don't want to push it too much down because you still want to be able to use those rails. We'll give it a try if this is sufficient and seals up, or if not, if we need to give it another turn. Let's fill it up. And how we fill it up? Pretty simple. We will just unthread this one. Pour water in. Just plain water from the garden hose. See if everything is tight or anything is leaking. That's very important. We don't have to fill it all the way up, but as soon as it gets close to the top, we want to stop, close it, pressurize it, and I'll show you step by step how that works. Good old garden hose. Up, go one. I want to double check how much we have in it. Should hold up to 8 gallons, right? But we don't have to fill it up all the way. It is, I would say, not even half full. It's less, but it's fine. And to make it easier for us, we'll just wipe down the water. By the way, it's very important for this valve, just a fiddle valve, as much as I understood, it's important that you don't change the settings up here. So the whole thing you can only pressurize up to 80 PSI, very important. Don't pressurize it more than 80 PSI. But in case you forget and you let it just fill up more with air, this one is supposed to release air out of it at 85 PSI. So don't mess with this. If you mess it up, that's very dangerous. Be careful. All right. First step, I want to connect the garden hose really quick. It's not a garden hose, it's a shower hose. And maybe you remember, that's what it looks like. Comes with a plastic shower head and the coiled hose. It's something you can upgrade, of course, if you want to. For the purpose of this video, I want to use everything, all the equipment which comes with it. And it does come also with this fitting, which will screw on here. Coiled hose on one side. At the moment, I just do hand tie to see if it maybe is enough. And this one should be the quick connect on this side. So let's see. You pull it back, put it on. There we are. Cool, awesome. Let's pressurize it, and therefore we have this valve up here with a cap. This cap, it's a aluminum cap it looks like, with a rubber seal inside. You don't want to lose it. This looks like a normal car valve. For the purpose of this video, I got this as well. It is a battery-powered pump, but it also comes with this hose, and it's battery-powered, and you can set it to 80 PSI. I turn it on, and then I do just set it. Oh, here we are. Do set it to 80 PSI. Today we're learning together. I'll cheat and use the compressor to get it started, because unless it's super full, this will take a little while. And do you see that? Oh yeah! We got the first little trip. Alright, I think for this purpose we pumped it up enough. It's at 27.5 PSI. I'm going to use this now. There is some pressure. So what I'm doing, by the way, this pump is rated up to 120 PSI. Battery powered. I don't know how long it will last. The hose is getting freaking hot here, by the way. So in case you're home and you start pumping it up, I would recommend you use your compressor if you have one, and don't forget to put on the cap, the valve, just to protect it from sunlight, from outside air, rain, water, everything. Now we've pressurized it, 27 PSI. That was the first step we need to do. Let's look in the instructions what I recommend next. So do you remember when I said we don't have to wrap it in threaded waterproof tape? I realized they sent some tape, but they also sent a second set of this quick connector and also this valve. When looking at the list, the packing list, and it says only there's one angle valve. It might have been a mistake that I received it, so don't count on that. But thanks for this one for sure. It's a spare for me. What next we want to do, as we have still water in it and it's pressurized, I don't not want to mount it like that because I'm alone at the moment, so it's pretty heavy to lift it up. But we'll prepare everything else. Step 2. It means we'll use this little holder, which can hold the hose. We should mount it to one of the sides. That's what it recommends, to the left side actually. So we'll turn it around and mount it. And therefore, we also have this installation hardware. It comes with the bolts, washers, spring washer, and also those self, I forgot the name, the self-spring loaded screw nuts. You know, the right nuts, which we don't have to use any Loctite. So that's great. We'll do that now. So to properly do that, we will, first of all, close here the valve. We'll release pressure on the water, whatever's in here. That's it. We'll disconnect with a quick connect, which is great. Turn it to the side. Now we can also double check if there's no leak happening, especially when it's welded, this side, the other side. Double check everything is dry. It's pretty good. For the installation itself, it did recommend putting it on this side, right? The way how it works, it's pretty simple. Those tracks, let me call them tracks, those bolts, slide it in. Number 1. Number 2. So that's how you want to mount it. Install it pretty snug, tight, as you want to have it. Be careful, has a little vibration, so that when it's too close with the installation, it might make sounds while driving. Here you can see the installation, and that's what I meant. There's a very, very little distance. You can adjust it as needed with just those 2 nuts. The next step, step 3. So I did turn it around already, so we can work right in those tracks. That means this time we'll need this installation hardware. 8 screws in total here. So you use 8 screws, 8 washers, spring washers, and also 8 nuts. We're using those brackets. Before we do this part, because that means as soon as we put on the screws, we have to lift it on the car. Before we do it, I would like to empty the water tank, and I want to fill it up first with 80 PSI and see how long it lasts with 80 PSI, how much water we get out, and just to see, you know, how often do we have to re-pressurize it. I think that's about it. 78. Cool. All right, almost 80. Let's start now. So I heard about it, it's better parked downhill so the water runs in that direction, right? It does have a chance to escape through here, the lowest point. Otherwise, you saw the effect, right? Nice. Took a while, but the pressure lasted for the entire load. I mean, it wasn't entirely full, but it's impressive. It's nice. That is a really, really strong. Okay, before I want to do anything else, I want to release the excess air in here, just to make sure nothing is bloating up. Bloating up. I will use my tool here, so I can, it's at 20 PSI now, pretty empty. Right now it's closed. This is open. Taking this one off. When you do that, it will release a lot immediately. By the way, on the other side, there's also a valve where you can just release all the water. But make sure before you really release any air, you open any valve, try to release all the air which is in there as well. Because otherwise it will blow and be super, super dangerous. Be careful with that part. What we're doing now is preparing everything before we install it in the car itself. Sadly, one little disclaimer. Since I wanted to install it on a Jeep, and we have to skip that part because I still have not received my roof rack yet. We have to wait for that part on the Jeep, but we'll do it on another car, just, you know, a car which has roof racks already, and we'll see if we can install this friend over there. There's one way to install this tank on the top of your car. You have those mounts, you just put it on, so you first align it, and then you put it on from underneath, and slide it on those screws. There's all to it, that's all, there's nothing else to it, and then use the washer and the nuts. I think it's way better for you to see. We do have 1 and 2. With this car, that's maximum forward we can go, so it might hang over to the back a little bit. So we need to adjust this and take in consideration. It's empty, 40 pounds, and I will use one of those, maybe cut it if needed. And that's where I'll slide it on, just, you know, to have it on there and also to minimize the sound, any vibration, stuff like that. First one, second one, and then we'll see if it does fit or not. I pushed out the screws, as you can see, just to have enough wiggle room and space. Now I can just turn it around and hope that the screws are not too long, and they are not. And now let's see if those mounting brackets they delivered, provided with it, if they even fit. I'll start with one. Holy cow, it does work. The car is very hot. I'll show you really quick what I did. I only tightened one, not even all the way, but you need to get the right size of screws for the rack, because otherwise you will need forever just to put it on, and that's something you will not enjoy doing. But so far it was cool in general, so I might get different screws and then continue the video with instructions next time. So in general, it does not look too shabby. Shorter screws. Really a pain to tighten those nuts, so might get some quick release stuff. And same on the other side. I didn't do it for all 8 because it's really takes forever. I would not use it today, but I do like it. I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty clean. I think it's really great. I like the pressure. The 80 PSI worked well the one time. I will have to test it more, so there will be a follow-up video on also an installation, a full installation on the car, and hopefully with a better solution with some quick connectors or whatever, some wing nuts. Not sure about that part. That's it for this video, but there will be a follow-up video. I will investigate, talk maybe to the manufacturer, try to figure out if there's some wing nuts or anything like that we can use. Also, I will get shorter screws for this installation. Maybe I have the roof rack until then and we can do the full installation on the Jeep. I don't want to promise too much, but hopefully, fingers crossed. And what else? So the 80 PSI worked really well. I want to use it more often. I want to see how it does. So we'll pressurize it a couple times and see how it works. I have already some trips planned, so I hope that I can take it with me. Until then, I figure out the bolts, the installation itself, and hopefully on the Jeep. And we'll do more testing here. So we do have also this temperature gauge. Yes, it is at the moment 26, 28. I try to figure out what it means. Not sure what green, what blue. Something I try to understand here. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, but I think it does a job, so you have another idea. Is it hot water or is it not hot water? Could be too hot water. Until then, thank you for watching. See you next time. Tschüss.